Welcome to Beyond the Next Chapter. As always, I'm your host, Whitney Clark. The new year is almost here, believe it or not. And if reading more is one of your New Year's resolutions, we've got you covered. And maybe you want to think about joining a book club. Book clubs are the place to be. They're popping up more and more, not just here in Arizona, but also across the country. People are really craving that connection. They want to make friends. They want to talk about books. They love to read, and they want to meet other bookish people. And there's so many great options in Arizona and here in the Valley. And so joining us today are two book club founders. That includes Kyra Coombs from Not Your Average Book Club and Essence Bayham from Lonely Girls Book Club. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So I discovered both of you on social media. How big of a role is social media in reaching out to readers? Essence, we'll start with you.
I think it plays a major role. I just started my Instagram page this past year, so it has grown so much. I've been able to support local authors and get opportunities like this, so I do think it plays a big role.
Yeah, I think it's everything. As much as sometimes social media annoys me, it has brought me to so many different people, and it just allows us to reach the audience out so much more. So it's been everything for Not Your Average Book Club.
There's pros and cons to social media. The pros are connecting with other bookish people, which there are so many here in Arizona, which you guys know that, our listeners probably know that, but the more you kind of meet people, the more you meet other people, it's like a domino effect. So Essence, I love the title of your book club. That's like really like when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I need to know more about this. Tell me about the title and how you came up with it.
So I came up with the title simply because when I started the book club, I was lonely. So I thought there was other women who felt like me. So I was like, the Lonely Girls Book Club is the perfect name.
I love that. And the fact that you were opening up about how you felt lonely. I think so many of us feel lonely. It's easy to have those feelings of loneliness, especially this day and age. If you're new to the Valley, if you're moving somewhere. How did you reach out to people? Like, how did you get the ball rolling?
So I started the book club last year, and I wanted to make more friends. So at that time, I was on the BFF Bumble app. So it's like Bumble, but for making friends. Mm-hmm. And they have a feature where you can create an event. So I created the Lonely Girls Book Club. We made a group chat. We had our first meeting, and it was only like 4 of us. But we had such a good conversation. After that, we started meeting every 2 weeks. And
I love that.
We ended the year with Booksgiving, and then honestly, I had no expectation to keep going. And then the girls were proactively talking about next year for book club, and I was like, well, I guess we're gonna keep doing this. It has been such a great ride.
I love that. That is so special. And you started yours because yours is not your average book club. So it's more than just talking about books, which we know that's how all book clubs are, but especially you do so many events.
Yes. So I started my monthly book club about 2 years ago for the exact same purpose, coming out of being a new mom, COVID, and just wanting to kind of get out there and meet new friends. And books is something I've always been passionate about. So 2 years ago, started the monthly. I still meet with that same group of girls to this date. And then we decided we wanted to expand because reading is fun. And there are a lot of amazing bookish events, but I just felt like there was a need for maybe just more unique, fun, engaging ways for the readers to get out there. So we started Not Your Average Book Club as a larger community exactly 1 year ago.
Wow. It's only been a year.
I think I literally turned that Instagram on and started posting in April.
Wow.
And it's been wild.
You just had a bookish market.
Yes.
And you were there too.
Yes.
I need to know about this because like the FOMO is very real that I wasn't there. And anyone who saw the video is like, I'm sure the FOMO was very real.
It was.
Yeah.
I had FOMO and I was there.
So it was a bookish market. You had authors, you had booksellers, all of the above. How many people were there? Were you expecting that crowd?
So I think we had close to 2,000. We can't honestly really know. We were not expecting that. We knew there would be a great response just off of like social media, but to be totally transparent, we didn't over market it. So we kind of just threw it out there. We had 35 local authors, and then we had about 25 bookish vendors, so people in the bookish space. And so, no, absolutely no idea. My husband and I, who is also my business partner, were just kind of standing there. I mean, I literally roamed the entire time with a huge smile on my face because I'm like, the bookish community showed up. And it was incredible. And it really was a night for readers. And more importantly, it was a night for the authors and the vendors, because for the first time ever, a lot of the authors sold out. They're like, we've never done that before at an event. And for me, that was everything.
Yeah. And you were there. What was the vibe? I mean, what did you take away from that?
Oh my God, the vibe was amazing. So when I was parking, you just see a whole bunch of book girlies with their totes just walking in. And I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, I love this. So then you go in, there's like so many girlies, there's so many different vendors. It was amazing. I got so many things. Like, I mean, yeah, I definitely maxed out, and I love that for myself. Some things are worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the different local authors, I mean, speaking with them, the different vendors. There's this one lady I spoke with, I don't recall her name, but she sold like handmade book covers. I'm like, this is so amazing. I got a Lizzie McGuire one.
Oh.
It was great. Yeah, it was great.
I love that. What does the turnout really show you and teach you about the bookish community here?
They're here in Arizona. Like, I feel like some people, they have a hard time finding us, but we're here, and that definitely showed it. There's so much room for community here for you to bring in your own book club. Like, we're here.
And I love that you said that. So the point of Not Your Average Book Club is for like, bring your book club. And also for me, I think the most surreal moment was it's a space for literally everyone. There is room for everyone. There are no prerequisites other than you love reading. And I don't care what you read. That's kind of the vibes that we have. And so for me, that was the biggest thing, is like, there's literally space for everyone. Now, there wasn't space for everyone at the event, which we'll take care of that next time.
That's a good problem to have.
It was an amazing problem to have. And the funniest thing is the vendor at the end of the night were like, this is the most amount of people we've ever had, which was incredible. They're like, but it was the most polite group of people we have ever seen. I'm like, yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Like, we show up, but we're also super polite.
Definitely.
And so it was the funniest combination of, we were wall to wall, but everyone was like, oh, excuse me, or like, I'll make room for you. And it was just so amazing to see just all of that dynamic in one place.
I love that. I mean, I'm a little biased, but readers are the best.
No, they are.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
That's true.
Okay, so I know this is a big, I've been in book clubs before that have kind of like failed. Like, we'll get together, we'll read a book or two, and then something comes up and it's like, we can't schedule another meeting, and it kind of like fizzles out. What do you guys think is like the key to success? Essence, we'll start with you.
Can I have time to think about that one?
Yes.
The key to success. I think the key to success probably is showing up. There's meetings where there's only like 3 of us that show up, especially when I first started. But you have to show up consistently so that way people know, even if it's barely any of you guys. And I would say also keep the members engaged by doing polls, see what time works for everybody, what day. Maybe keep things simple as first so people can have a easier time showing up, just meeting up at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
I would say for me, 2 things. I would say being organized, having a way to communicate with everyone, just because everyone might have different communication styles. So we started using an app really early on. We use book clubs, and I can post what book we're reading, so that way everyone has access to it, and we post our meetings in there as well. I think the second thing, kind of going along the line with keeping people engaged, is from day one, we always had an activity of some sort, other than just book discussion, to kind of break the ice. Because even though like we're all readers, sometimes it's intimidating to kind of jump in, especially when we were all strangers. And so we always have some type of activity themed to the book, or it was just like a fun bookish craft or something along those lines. And I felt like that broke the ice, but also kept people engaged.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I agree.
This is a really serious, important question. I'm genuinely curious about this. How do you all decide what book to read next?
So for us, we have every girl pick 4 books from the same genre. And then we put our girls' names in a spin wheel. And then whoever gets picked, we vote off those 4 books that they picked.
Okay, I love that. So it's like a little bit of a democracy. You know what I mean? It's like everyone kind of gets a vote. That seems like that would be helpful. What about you?
So we mainly stick to the romance genre. That way everyone kind of knows we're sticking with that genre, and then we'll do like the subgenres in that. You are way more organized. Like, honestly, sometimes we do where each person puts it in a bowl and we do the whole, we're not reading.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And
fun.
we do that because we all want to grow our TBRs. So when we do the we're not reading, we're all like writing down like, wait, what was that title? And then the last one. And then sometimes we just get creative. We've done Spin the Bottle before where for Galentine's where we put different book covers, but we stick to the same genre. And then we have some other, I guess you would say like rules. I don't even like that word of like the book can't be longer than this. Is it available on Audible, Hoopla, all those different places? Okay. And then we usually vote. So it's a vote or some type of system, but not that organized. So kudos. Writing notes over here.
I love that. That's really, because then everyone sort of gets, reading is so subjective. I mean, you're going to love something, someone else isn't. Does everyone in the group generally feel the same about the books? Like when you have the discussion, or is it all over the place in terms of like people's observations?
I would say that it definitely just depends on the book. Like some books we just all love, like The Song of Achilles. Some it's kind of like, like recently we read The Possession of Alba Diaz and we were all on the fence on that one. Like some of us didn't even finish it. So I think it's really cool with book clubs to see how everyone has differing opinions. Whose side? Why do you think that way? Why does she think that way? I love it.
Yeah. I love that too.
Same. One thing that we've said and I remind everyone at every single meeting is, hey, all opinions are welcome. Let's not get emotionally attached to our books and feel free. And there has been some months where it takes one person breaking the ice and being like, I did not like that book. We have a couple, because we're in the romance category, that can lead to a lot of difference of opinions, but we've had some really unhinged picks where it's so funny because we'll get back together to talk about the book and it's kind of quiet. And it will just take someone like me who's loud and being like, all right, so that was wild, right? And then it like opens the floodgates.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's usually our quietest members who pick these like unhinged books. So like it is just the funniest thing, but we have an open opinion policy on books. And so I would say 90% of the time we're aligned. And then there's those couple books that are so like people are so passionate about. And those are my favorite conversations.
Yeah. Some of those romance books are unhinged. I mean, so I'm like, I don't know if you've seen some of the TikToks where it's like, they are like, I'm looking for a book and they'll explain the premise. And you're like, what? But it's an actual book. But we love it. We love all of the romance girls because that's it's the best-selling genre, romantasy as well. What are some of the books you guys have read? You mentioned one that you loved. What are some of the best books you guys have read this year?
I think the best book that we've read this year is The Song of Achilles and The Wedding People. We love that one, and it's one of those where you read the summary and you're kind of like, what the heck is going on? And that's exactly how I felt. I did not expect what that book was about at all. So those were our two favorite reads. I think it was also because the meetings behind those books, it kind of makes it memorable.
What did you do at those meetings that were so special or that were so memorable?
So for The Song of Achilles, we had a private dinner at Kala, which is a Mediterranean restaurant. And then the dress theme was Greek goddess. So it was so much fun. Yeah.
I love that. What did you do for the wedding people?
So for the wedding people, we kept it simple and we met at a coffee shop, but we all talked about like our different like wedding memories and stuff like that. So it was super fun, great conversation. And then we met at Cactus Cloud Cafe. Shout out to Quinn. I love him. He's amazing. And he curated us a menu based off the book. And it was great. We had sangria, and then there was one called Feline Painkillery. If you know, you know, if you read the book. Yeah.
I love that. And those are like the little things at book clubs that make them so memorable. Because as we mentioned, it's not just about the books. It's about like those little touches, getting into the theme. I've seen a lot of videos about like creating whimsy. Like I love that word and I love that idea.
Yes.
Like the more you can just make things fun, like go for it, you know,
Right.
like dress up like a Greek goddess.
Yes.
I love that. I love The Wedding People too. That was really good. That's one book that's like a very good book club choice for sure.
Yes.
I love it. What have you guys? What have been the best? Because there's so many romance titles out there. It's almost overwhelming.
It is.
What are the best ones?
So it's like a loaded question because I'm going to have to go off of like the theme of the book club too. Okay. And so we did Magnolia Parks, which that was actually a super controversial book in our, like half the girls absolutely hated it. And the other half were like, give me more, which I love those meetups because I just like hearing the opinions. But we love a theme at Not Your Average Book Club. So I kind of turned my house into like a London high society, and that was kind of like our theme. So everyone came with like, you know, tea party vibes, and we themed our whole menu off of that too. So that was probably a great one. But I would say my most favorite this year, and I actually loved the book, was Sweetest Oblivion. So it's a dark romance, not super dark, but it's like mafia type vibes. So we did Mob Wives for that theme. That. And so I decorated my whole house. It was like there was an underground poker element to the book. So we turned my house into an underground poker vibe. And my husband and another girl whose husband is a professional poker player set up tables and taught us how to play blackjack and poker. And the way the ladies showed up was amazing. Like they were in character the whole night. And so that was probably one of my favorite books and also one of my favorite themes that we did.
I love that. That's so much fun.
Yeah.
When do you guys decide like how to meet and when to meet? You know what I mean? I mean, is it like the same day every month? Is it like, do you make it different depending on everyone's availability?
So for us, it's the same weekend every month. So we usually choose between Saturday or Sunday, whichever works best between the girls on the same weekend. We do pretty much like the second weekend of every month. Yeah.
I like that. That's like good, consistent.
We are always Sunday evening. Okay. So from early on, I asked the ladies, what is the one day where you don't feel like you have to choose between XYZ and book club? So we do Sunday evening, and we just pick it at each book club. So at the end, we say, hey, here are the Sundays available. Which one can most people make? And then that's where we go from there.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part and what's been the issue in the book clubs I've tried to like kind of start is everyone is so busy. And you kind of mentioned this earlier, like showing up is just how to make it successful. And like you're not going to have everyone at every meeting, and that's okay. But I think just consistently making the effort is what's so important.
Definitely. And it's easier for people to make the effort if they know it's around the same time every month.
Totally.
Then they could tell their husbands if they have obligations with their kids, their wives, whatever. Yeah. I can't do this. I have book club.
Yeah. That's the thing is like the scheduling. I mean, it's a lot. And I don't have kids, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's a lot these days, especially this time of year, the holidays and whatnot. Okay, so what advice, before I ask you that actually, I want to ask, because this is, I think, varies per group. Do you put a limit on how many members you can have? Or like, because some book clubs are like, we're not accepting anyone. How do you deal with the membership? We'll start with you.
So that has gotten a little more complicated lately just because we have the Not Your Average Book Club public events. So we get asked a lot, like, do you have a monthly? I'm a yes person. So I end up saying yes a lot. So we are still open, but it's at my home. And so I kind of know that sweet spot. And when we hit it, we'll know, which right now we're about 35 women consistently every month. We're kind of at the spot where to make sure everyone is seen and heard, we probably can't keep growing that much. But then that's when we overflow into like our actual events that are open to everyone. Yeah. But I do think there's a sweet spot.
Yeah. And then it's like everyone's different. Maybe someone can come one month and not the other. So it'll sort of fluctuate. What about you guys?
So I curate spaces specifically for introverted and socially anxious women. So I do have a cap of 15, and we want to grow that cap to 20. So we're accepting new members in January. I'm so excited for that. So we do have a wait list just to make sure that new members coming in, it's not overwhelming, because coming from an introverted girly, I love all the Bookish events, and I think they're amazing, and the turnout is so great that sometimes it could be super overwhelming to make new connections with all those people. So I try to keep it small, so that way women coming in, they can feel like they're making new connections in baby steps and not all at once.
How has starting the book club really helped you and changed your life?
I think that it's because I have to put myself in the forefront. Like, if no one's talking, I'm the host. I have to make conversation. So I think that has helped me so much doing stuff like this, even like I never thought I would do like 2 years ago. So I'm so proud of myself. The book club has made me grow in such a better person, a more open person to get to know people. And I've made so many amazing connections.
Yeah. It's so hard the older you get to make friends and to meet people who have similar interests. What is your advice for maybe someone who feels the same way as you, that's introverted, that has a difficult time meeting people, but they want to put themselves out there and they're listening to you thinking, oh my God, I want to be just like her?
Join our book club. No, I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, definitely join. But I think just baby steps, like maybe go to an event that's super small, that's an intimate event, like a small open mic night or something like that, and make many goals for yourself. Like, okay, when I go out tonight, I'm going to talk to one person and maybe just compliment their outfit or just ask how they're doing and just grow from there.
Yeah, I love that. It can be hard putting yourself out there, especially if you're going somewhere where you maybe don't know anyone and you're having to like introduce yourself. You're kind of trying to start your story. What would your advice be for someone who's also trying to create that sense of community that you've created?
I think just start talking. I think we don't realize how many connections and how many similarities that we have. I would say when I started this, my friend group, I'm just going to say, was non-existent. And I have met my best friends through this community, and I will forever be grateful for that, including some of the amazing business owners in the Valley. And you never know if you just don't say hi, like just say hi. Mm-hmm. And the icebreakers of, you can literally start a conversation by saying, what was your 5-star read this year? Or what are you reading right now? And I have watched it where instantly the walls drop and people get more comfortable. Mm-hmm. And there's not a lot that can do that. And I think reading and books gives that element that I haven't seen in a lot of social situations. So I think the baby steps and just showing up. Mm-hmm. And even if you only talk to one person or you went home with one book recommendation, that's a success. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's just make those connections and talk about books.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about book clubs. There's always something to talk about. Mm-hmm. Books are the icebreaker. You can talk about the book of the month, a book that you're reading. There's always something to talk about in a book club.
I love that. There is. I mean, it's what connects us, and then you find other connections and you get to know the person, and it's really such a beautiful thing. You guys are really inspiring me. I'm like, I need to up my book club game. And what you just last said made me think of something. What are some of your 5-star reads from this year? It doesn't have to be what you read for book club, just any other books that you've read.
I am obsessed, and anyone who has met me, I have given them the recommendation probably. I love Lauren Asher. She's one of my favorite authors, and there's a series called Dreamland Billionaires. I'm a Disney girl, and so it brings Disney and romance together, which is like my holy grail, and it is and it's like broody billionaires, which I love a broody billionaire. And so broody billionaire meets Disneyland meets romance, and I absolutely love that series. That was my 5-star.
I love that. How many books are in the series?
3.
Okay.
But she has other series that are like in the same world. The other one is called Lakeland Billionaires, and she was here a few months ago for the 3rd book of that series. So I got to go meet her, and it was like we completed the year.
That is so cool. I love that. What about you?
So my 5-star read was The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Yeah. It's a Black classic, and that's my first time reading anything from her, and I absolutely enjoyed it. And then my second one is a self-help book. It's called Confused Girl by Giovanna Silvestri, and that one was really helpful for me.
I love that. Do you guys do audiobooks? Do you read physical copies? Do you have a Kindle, or kind of like a mix?
So I do audiobooks and I do physical copies. I can't read on electronics.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Especially if you're like staring at a computer screen all day.
Yes.
It's not
great.
That's
my job.
Yeah.
I can't.
You're like, I'm done with screens.
Yeah.
I can't do audio, and it's so funny. I host audiobook walks every month, and I'm the one yapping the whole time. Literally every time. Audiobook, the only thing is I get so distracted with listening to audiobook. So like 10 minutes will go by, and I'm like, I don't know what they said or what happened, but I am a physical. It needs to be in my hands.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I do a little bit of each. So I'll be reading a physical book. I'll be reading something on my Kindle because it's how I can fall asleep at night, like just without the lights on. And then I'm always listening to an audiobook, and I do most like nonfiction on audiobooks. I don't know what it is. I like a lot of memoirs I like because they're read by the author. So I do a lot of nonfiction on audiobook, which I really love. I probably read like maybe 10 books this year that were 5 stars, and I've read like almost 70 books. I do not give out, like, do you give out 5 stars often, or does it have to be like really up there?
It has to be top tier. Yeah, I'm a little stingy with my 5 stars. I'm a firm believer of nothing's perfect. So I'm like, this could have been better. Yeah.
I'm very generous. I'm way too generous. I'm like the food review where I'm like, this is 10 out of 10. They're like, you can't do that at each place. And I'm like, but I can. I'm very, very generous. But honestly, I don't track very well. And I'm the girl who, like, that was my favorite read. 10 minutes later, someone could ask me what it was about. And I'm like,
yes.
Girl, it was good.
Yeah.
Like, it was great. There was bat guys and vampires, and that's pretty much what I remember.
I'm the same way. Someone will be like, oh, I loved when this person did this. I'm like, I don't remember that, what that person's name is. I guess my comprehension, I judge more on like how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
So like if a book makes me cry, I'm like, okay, I know this is a good book. Or if I'm can't wait to read it, or I'm like, it like stirs something in me, then I know that it's a good book. I might not remember everything, but I'm going to remember how it made me feel. And I think that's really, for me, what's the best, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah. Any advice you have for people who maybe are thinking about starting their own book club? Like, what advice would you give yourself before you started one, knowing what you know now?
I think for me is start with your why. I think that you should have a purpose behind everything that you do, especially if you want to grow your book club to maybe like us and doing more bookish events outside of just a regular book club. There's going to be times where you're discouraged and you're going to have to go back to that why. And I would also say probably start simple. Like, you don't have to do an extravagant meetup. Just meet at someone's house or meet at a coffee shop.
This is probably controversial, but in having participated in a few, and now I've met so many book clubs throughout the Valley, I think one thing to make it easy to be consistent and not fizzle out is picking a genre, even if it is a more broad genre, because then you're all already aligned with, okay, we all like this genre, and yes, we're going to dive into subgenres from this, but I think picking a genre sometimes can be very beneficial to kind of get everyone to stack hands early on.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And I think romance is one that's so specific and so popular that I think that in particular makes sense to do a one kind of genre sort of book club. Do you guys think there's too many book clubs, or you think like the more the better?
There's never too many book clubs. Like I was saying earlier, there's room for us all. We're here. So bring it on.
Yeah.
I think, I am astounded weekly by how many more people there are. And I think Market was a good example where I'm like, okay, there's no shortage of readers, and book clubs can only get so big. And so I think, more the merrier. If you want to start one, just do it.
And do you think it's just people looking for a sense of community?
Yes. Even outside of book club, you can see in Arizona, there's so many different clubs now, like Craft and Yap, who are promoting building connections, making friends. So, yeah.
I think in Arizona specifically, and having grown up here my whole life, we're such a melting pot. And so every time I meet someone, they're like, I just moved here last week. And they're like, and my number one goal was to like find people to hang out with and connections. And I think in Arizona, that is just very evident, is that people are looking for their little community, whether it's a bigger community or just something that they get to do every month. I think it's just very relevant for Arizona specifically.
Especially the Valley, where there's so many people. I mean, you moved here a couple years ago. There's so many people moving here, especially people in their 20s and 30s who are looking for friends. And the older you get, the harder it is to make friends. I mean, I have a lot of friends that use the BFF Bumble app and have had great success because it's like work and then that's kind of it. So it's such a beautiful way to meet people that love to read. So that's really cool.
Definitely, especially now, work from home jobs are so common. Like you can be in the house all day. And I even was just going through our wait list, and there's a lot of girls who work from home, and they're like, I don't have anybody to talk to. I'm not making any friends. So it's great what we're doing.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Where, I mean, I don't love that people are working, in that situation, but like the fact that people are seeking that out is just like so special to me.
Right.
I love that. Where can people find you guys on social media? Like on all the apps, like what's your app of choice?
Mostly Instagram, and you can find us on TikTok.
Okay.
We do both. I would say Instagram is probably the easiest. TikTok is hard.
Yes.
Like maybe
hard.
I'm just too old for it. I don't know. But
I feel the
Instagram,
same
from an
way.
event perspective, has been a lot easier to reach out. Maybe it's the algorithm. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Instagram is where we primarily live. And then we'll be launching a website in 2026 with more fun things.
Oh, TikTok is difficult. It's because it's so hit or miss on what becomes viral. Like you can think something's going to do well and it doesn't. It's harder. I think it's easier to reach people on Instagram, even though unless it goes super viral on TikTok, but there's no rhyme or reason to that a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're like us, but like I don't even want to go viral. Like it's more just like I want the girlies to find us and find a sense of community. So maybe that's why I don't spend a ton of time on TikTok, because I'm not trying to be a bookstagram.
Totally.
Which I love those. I eat that content up. I just want to create a space where people can meet each other.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why we gravitate towards Instagram a lot more.
Yeah, because I think
here.
it only comes up like videos about books come up if they're viral, and then it's like you can't just go about life trying to make viral videos because you're going to go insane because you can't do that. So I do think it's better in that way. So
well, and unfortunately, Book Talk has had like its drama, like every kind of thing, and I just don't want us to get wrapped up into that. And you'll probably never see me recommend a book online because it is so subjective. And so it's more like this is just a space for everyone to talk about what they're reading. We're not trying to get in the space where, here's our strong recommendations or I didn't like these books, because sometimes those can be really damaging too. So we just want to live in a happy, drama-free space.
Right.
Yeah.
I try not to get too attached to social media, even though we do use it to reach out. But that's all I use it for, is to reach out and to bring the bookish girlies to us. But I try not to get too attached to book talk, like Kyra was saying.
Yeah, I try not to either because it's just like, the other thing I don't do is I don't publicly say if I didn't like a book, because I just don't think, I think after meeting authors and knowing authors, I don't think there's any, I just try not to do that. And I feel like on TikTok, that's a lot of what it is. It's like, these are the worst books, or like, I can't believe you read that author. It's like, I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. And that's what happens a lot when you do those reviews, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm a mood reader. And so it's also like, what are the circumstances behind reading the book? And I'm just happy to see people reading.
Totally.
And so I think it can be a little dangerous when we get into a space of like, read this, don't read that. And it's like, if you're reading, that's everything. And so let's just focus on that and what does unify us. And so I think it's just an easier space to kind of focus on the community aspect of it.
There's so many books. There's a book for everybody.
Totally.
I'm a firm believer of that. There's a lot of people in my family. For example, my sister, she doesn't like to read, but I gave her a book and she likes it. So I think there's something for everybody, even if you're not like an avid book reader like us. Reading is amazing. Reading is knowledge. It's how you learn new things.
I love that. And I think people that maybe aren't interested in it maybe haven't just found the book for them or the genre for them. I mean, people have like reading disabilities. That's a whole nother topic. But, if you're like, I'm not into it, it's like, well, you might not be into this, but you might be into something else. So it's just about finding what you like, which is really cool.
Right.
Great. Anything else you guys want to add that I haven't asked, or anything else you want to say that you think is important you want people to know?
I'm not sure. You go
I think
first,
for
Kyra.
me, I am just, and maybe because it's Thanksgiving time, I just did a Booksgiving thing last night, is just for me, how grateful I am for this community and what it's done for me. And so if you're thinking about joining that book club, or like you've almost gone to the book club or you've almost gone to the book event, just go, because I know that, and this is so dramatic, it literally has changed my life. Just do it. I think there's that trend of like someone said, you need to do this. It's important that you go do whatever it is, or it's important you pick up that book. It's important that you go. and just show up. And there's a space for everyone, and it can be life-changing, and it has been for me.
I agree with Kyra. Starting this book club has totally changed my life. As I was saying earlier, it's made me so much more of an open person. I'm so grateful for everyone that supports us, who goes to our events, who's in the book club. I'm just so happy to be here and to be a part of this community.
I love that. And thank you guys both so much for coming here. I really appreciate it and love chatting with you and love what you're doing. And just so happy to see it and so happy to see how books are changing lives, because they definitely do that. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, you guys.
Thank you.